Thanks to your calls, there have been some real breakthroughs on last month's cases, but there's still a lot of investigation going on and officers still need your help. When a pharmacist in Formby was sent a parcel bomb, she recognised the smell of gunpowder and threw it away.
Drive, Dad, drive! It looked like a bomb, it looked like a bomb!
We had plenty of theories offered, but we still don't know who sent the bomb or why.
In March, David Williamson was murdered. He was found unconscious on a footpath 5 minutes from his home in Sutton-on-the-Forest near York. We had over 30 calls on the night of the programme, but nothing on the black car that was parked near Bentley's farm, and we still hadn't heard from the man who was walking away from the village at 5:30 that morning.
Everybody stay down! Nobody moves!
Just after Christmas, 3 men raided the home of a Lebanese family in Belgravia in central London. Jewellery valued at over £250,000 was stolen, and it's uninsured.
Out of 22 calls in total, 5 of them were good leads, and we immediately began to follow them up. If people have got information still, please come forward. There is a £10,000 reward.
Mary Hancock was a sprightly 92-year-old who lived in Southport, Merseyside. In April, her handbag was snatched by a woman who got out of a car. A month later, Mary died from her injuries. We had a good response on this, over 50 calls, and there are a number of strong leads.
To be raped is horrific enough, but 2 weeks after a woman was attacked in Alperton in London, the rapist came back to taunt her.
Vicky? Hello, Vicky?
We had a very good response. We had about 60 calls in the studio. We have to follow up each call because obviously each call counts. It was nice to see that so many people took the trouble to call in, and hopefully we will find the perpetrator.
A spectacular ram raid on a NatWest bank in Carhill in Doncaster.
Get down! Get down! No! Move it! Down! Stay there!
There was one person whose name was put in 4 times by different people. That gave us quite a strong lead, which we're still looking into at the moment.
2 ambulances like these were stolen from outside a supermarket in Wolverhampton. They were for mine clearance projects in Somaliland. Within 2 hours of the programme, the lorry, container and the trailer were found, but they were empty. Do you know where the ambulances are? There's a reward of £10,000.
A 16-year-old with learning difficulties was walking down the A13 in Leigh-on-Sea in Essex and was coaxed into a car. He was taken on a 3-hour drive and sexually assaulted. We had such good clues. The girl in the back was called Belinda, and yet so few useful calls. A metallic blue BMW, R-registered, with cream leather interior, and a 2-year-old called Belinda. Call us. Tell us who the driver was.
6 weeks ago in Plymouth, there was an incident of road rage between a pedestrian and a driver. The pedestrian finished up dead.
He liked being private. That was the way he was. He was very quiet, very independent. He was helpful, and he helped other people. And he loved his family.
No one doubts that Colin Beer had too much to drink that Saturday. He'd been at it all afternoon.
I don't know why he'd been drinking that day. It was a surprise to me because when he came to visit me, or me and my wife, I offered to take him out for a drink, and he said no, he wouldn't drink him anymore. He'd stopped drinking.
Come on.
I know about 7, half 7, I don't know yet.
What's the others doing?
Just
a minute. Look at that blue colour there.
What the hell? There was a man stood in the middle of the road. He looked a bit drunk and was staggering a bit. But then we noticed that as one car went past, he hit the windmill of it. When I first saw him get out the car, I did think that there was going to be a fight, or at least words would be crossed, because he looked angry, but I didn't think that it would be that bad. When I saw the man attack the victim, I felt a bit nervous, but when I saw him fall to the ground, I felt sick, because it was like, how could someone do that?
The car was a silver blue Peugeot 406, known as Samarkand Blue. This is Plymouth at about 6 p.m. on Saturday, the 9th of June.
Norman, we should point out he had much darker hair than the actor in the reconstruction.
Yes, he did.
Now, what do you hope for from this appeal?
Well, I believe that this person could have been a visitor to the Plymouth area, either working or in pleasure. And Colin Beer was 5 days in intensive care before he died. And it's well on the cards that this person actually left the area and doesn't realise the result of his actions.
And of course, may not even have meant to hurt Colin all that badly.
That's right, Nick. It's one blow, and I don't really think that that fellow ever thought that he would kill Colin Beer as a result of that strike.
So, you've really got to get this guy to call in himself. I mean, that's really the essence of what tonight's about, then.
That's right. I need to know his side of the story. What happened that day? I've numerous witnesses to this. Many people can identify him.
Now, I mean, I was going to say, you're going to get this guy eventually because you've got so many clues and you'll be able to eliminate all the... Because that sort of Peugeot 406, that type of blue, in that town that day is infrequent. You're going to be able to find them eventually.
Absolutely. There are only several thousand of those in the UK, and we can methodically work our way through that.
So what you need, he to come forward, explain his solo story, and if not, other people who've got a suspicion who he might be.
That's right. My appeal is, who came home on the 9th of June with a sore hand, who has access to that silver blue Peugeot, who is like my artist's impression, and has knowledge of Plymouth or knows people in the Plymouth area.
OK, well, the driver may be a sales rep, visiting Plymouth, whoever he is. Maybe he's got relatives there. It's unlikely he set out to kill Colin, as you've heard. So if you know who he is, give us his name, please. 01752 789 039. Or in this or any other crime, you can always call Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111.
Well, from one out-of-the-blue attack to another. This time, though, it started on a train. 3 months ago, passengers were arriving at Victoria Station in London to catch the 8 p.m. train to Thornton Heath. One passenger, Brett, had to sit down carefully to avoid the man opposite, who was sitting on the edge of his seat. The man seemed to spend the entire journey glaring at him. As they got off at Thornton Heath, he shoved Brett off the train and then continued to abuse him as they walked up the stairs. He then seemed to disappear, and Brett walked on towards Tesco's on Parchmore Road. The man then suddenly reappeared and smashed a bottle over Brett's head.
I got a few stitches on the top corner of my head, and then I got quite a big cut that went through the back of my ear and actually pierced through the front part of it. And then I got a little cut just lower down my neck. In total, there was about 35 or 40 stitches that I received from the actual cut itself.
Brett was attacked for no reason at all. So who's the man on Thornton Heath platform who fits the description of the attacker? Well, that CCTV is very clear. Someone must recognise him. Call here in the studio or the incident room on 020 8649 1383. Now, here are our house detectives. First, Jackie, with this month's 3 most wanted faces.
3 simple appeals, but 3 stories of appalling violence. This is Joe Ngoni, a Kenyan who may be using a different name, but who's wanted for attempted murder. A woman was stabbed in the head and body in her car last month in Green Lane, Hemel Hempstead. Thankfully, she is now recovering well. Surdal Singh Lidar, also known as Sid, is wanted in connection with a murder inquiry in Leicester. Giuliano Marcillo was charged with grievous bodily harm against his own baby, but jumped bail. His son has been permanently brain damaged. In the past, Giuliano Marcioli has slept rough or in squats. If you know where he is, or indeed can help with any of our faces, please give us a call, 0500 600 600.
And do you recognise these two?